In this video, I'll be demonstrating a tubular bind off for a 1x1 rib, and I'm doing that on the sleeve of a sweater here. So initially, before you start the bind off, you have a few setup rounds. You have 4 setup rounds, and to start with, so it's a 1x1 rib. For the first round, you'll knit a stitch, then you'll bring the yarn to the front and slip the stitch purlwise. So in the first round, and then I'll move the yarn to the back, knit a stitch, bring the yarn to the front, slip the purl stitch purlwise. And you'll repeat that for the whole round, so all of the knit stitches get knit and all of the purl stitches get slipped with the yarn in front, so it looks like a bar coming across the front of the work wherever the purl stitches are. And so you'll do that the whole way around. So I've worked that whole round where I've knit every knit stitch and slipped every purl stitch with the yarn in front. Now the second round, I will be slipping every knit stitch with the yarn in back and purling every purl stitch. So I just slipped that last purl, and I'm going to slip this knit as well with the yarn in back. So I do actually have 2 slip stitches in a row there. Purl, slip with the yarn in back, purl, slip the knit stitch with the yarn in back, purl, and I'll do that the whole way around. So I've completed those 2 rounds where in the last round I purled every stitch and slipped every knit stitch with the yarn in back, and now I'm going to repeat those 2 rounds again. So I'll start with knitting all the knit stitches just like I did in round 1, where I'm going to knit the knit stitches and then slip the purls with the yarn in front, and then I'll do another round where I slip the knit stitches and purl the purls. And so that's 4 rounds in total. So I'm going to come back when I finish those 4 rounds. So I finished the 4 setup rounds, where rounds 1 and 3, I knit the knits and slipped the purls with yarn in front. And in rounds 2 and 4, I purled the purls and slipped the knits with yarn in back. So that's called double knitting, and they're the 4 setup rounds. Now before we start the grafting process, we need to move all of the knit stitches onto one needle and have it to the front, and all the purl stitches to another needle and have it in back. So I've got 2 different circular needles here that are slightly smaller. So this needle, I'm knitting on a 5mm needle, and these are 2 4.5mm needles. And because this is small circumference and I'm magic looping, I've also got a long needle so that I can magic loop, because I'll get all of this first half and then I'll do a loop. It will be too small to put it onto a small circular. So what I want to do is I'll use the grey needle for the knits and the silver needle for the purls. So I'll slip the knits onto the grey needle and the purls onto the silver needle. So you just want to be careful that you don't lose any, and I've got 2 strands of yarn, so it's a little bit fiddly. I've got to make sure I don't get the yarn from the wrong one. So all of the knits are going on this grey needle and the purls on the silver. The knits are in front and the purls are in back. Oops, don't lose that one. I already did this on the body of the sweater, and I didn't have to magic loop because I could use just one long circular. If you have a small circumference, you could do it all just on a small needle. Okay, so I just need to, so my last one was a knit, so I'm going to pull these through. To just keep the grey needle in front and the silver in back. So I'm up to a purl, so you don't lose it. Almost there. You can see this bit is a little bit fiddly, just have to be careful you don't lose anything. Okay, we got there. All right, so just pull these through. Okay, you obviously this doesn't have to be a magic loop. The process is a little bit fiddlier with magic loop, but it works the same. I just have to do sort of half and then half. Okay, so we've got all of the knit stitches onto this grey needle and all of the pearls onto the silver needle, and now we're going to start grafting. So to begin grafting, I've got a tapestry needle and I've got 2 stitch markers, and this will just help me to join the 2 ends in the round. So because I'm grafting in a circle, I'll want to join the initial ones, the first ones, with the last ones. So this is a technique that I saw on TechKnitter, and yeah, it's a really great technique. So normally when you're grafting, you have 2 setup rounds, 2 setup stitches, and I won't be doing those because I'll be doing this in a circle. So just before I start grafting, I'm going to be talking about knits and purls, but I don't mean actually knitting a stitch or purling a stitch. What I mean is, because we're about to put the yarn on the tapestry needle, it means if I mention knit, it will mean inserting the tapestry needle knitwise. So as if to knit from left to right, so like that. And if I mention purl, it will be insert the needle purlwise, which is right to left. So knit doesn't mean actually knit the stitch, and purl doesn't mean purl the stitch. It just means the direction that you insert the tapestry needle. Whether it's knit means knitwise, purl means purlwise. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a strand of yarn. So I have, I think I've got about 30 stitches on the needles. This uses a lot more yarn than you might think. So I'm going to give myself, it is a bit tricky when you've got, I'll find them over here, when you've got a lot of stitches, because you've got quite a lot to thread through, but I'm going to give myself about 60 inches, which is about my height, so that's wingspan. So I'm just going to give myself that amount of yarn, and I'll cut it and pop it on the tapestry needle. Right, found it. So I'll put the yarn on a tapestry needle. Now, for grafting, it's a 4-step process. Normally there's a setup, but I won't be doing the setup here, but I will be putting a stitch marker on the first 2 stitches, the first knit and the first purl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the needle as if to knit and take it off, and I'm actually going to pop a stitch marker. I'll put a green one on the front. So knit and take it off, and then purl, so still on the front needle, on the grey needle, purl, leave it on. So insert the needle purlwise, and then I'll pull the yarn through. Now I'll go to the back needle and I'll insert purlwise, so purl, take it off, but before I take it off I'll just pop a stitch marker on there, because this is what I'll use to join it to the last stitch, last 2 stitches bound off. So it's purl, take it off, and then knit, leave it on, again still both on the back needle, and then pull the yarn through. Get those stitch markers out of the way. Okay, now I don't have to deal with the stitch markers anymore, but it's going to be the same process. I start with the front needle and then the back needle. Front needle, knit, take it off, purl, leave it on, pull through. And you don't want to pull through too tightly, right? Because it will affect the tension. Just, you know, just pull it through, but don't yank it. And now back needle, purl, take it off, knit, leave it on, and pull the yarn through. Okay, front needle again, knit, take it off, purl, make sure I don't get that stitch marker caught in there. Now back needle, purl, take it off, knit. Okay, so it's starting to form. Knit, take it off, purl on the front needle, pull through. Purl, take it off, knit. Front needle, knit, take it off, purl. Back needle, purl, take it off, knit. You can see it forming and see how it actually just looks like a continuation. So you don't have that braid running along the end with a normal bind off, and it looks the same on either way. If you do the 2 steps at the same time, you can always see where's the yarn attached. Oh, it's on the back needle, so I'm up to the front needle. Knit, take it off, purl, pull through. If you do those 2 steps at once, you're less likely to have it too tight. And back needle, purl, take it off, knit. Now, because I'll do a couple more, and then when I get sort of towards the end, I'll move those stitches from the back around to the front, like because of magic looping. Knit, take it off, purl, purl, take it off, knit, okay, I'm just going to hang on to these needles, and then I'm just going to pull that around because I've been magic looping. Okay, now we're on sort of the last half now. There should be an even number, as in the same number on the front as on the back. So I'll just check that. 2, 4, 6, 8 on the front, 2, 4, 6, 8 on the back. Very important. And I just finished with the back. So knit, take it off, purl. Purl, take it off, knit. I'll fast forward till I get to the last couple. So I'm up to the last couple, and you can see that I'm approaching these 2 that I put on holders. So I'm going to want to join the last one with these ones. So I'm just going to pop them on the needle now. So I need to remember that I put the green one was for the grey, and the orange one was for the silver. So I'll put the green one on. Take it off the stitch marker. So that one's already been sort of half done. And then I'll put the orange one on this needle. It doesn't matter how you get it on at the moment, just get it on, and then we'll check out the orientation at the end. Pull it back through to the other end. Okay, so these were the last 2, and this was the first one, so these have already been like half grafted. Okay, so back to knit, take it off, purl, purl, take it off, knit. Now I'm going to knit, take it off, and then this one will also be purl, take it off, because it's already been, the other half's been done. So knit, take it off, and purl, take it off, pull through. It'll be purl, take it off, knit, take it off, and that way I've joined. Oh, you can see that I've mounted that incorrectly. See, I was about to twist it, so I just go in that way so that I'm not twisting it. Okay, so that has been bound off in a tubular bind off, and then I'll just weave in that end on the inside. And you can see that it looks the same. It's got that really nice rolled finish. And that's the tubular bind off.